Hey, good afternoon. Hello, my people. Letting y'all get connected, get active, get seen. And here we go. It's Tuesday. Welcome to Drive Time with your boy Big L. See, I'm closer to normal. I'm closer to my regular time. 5 minutes off. I'm back from Vegas. How y'all doing out there? How's everybody doing? I made it. I'm alive. Alyssa, Raider Rip Red. Juan, what's cracking? My chick, Raider Red Red. Alyssa. Nancy Vargas, Raiders girl, what's going on? We did it. What's going on, Antoine? We did it. We did it. We made it back. Martin, what's going on? I see my boy Raider Chris popped in. What's crack-a-lacking? Pete, what's going on? I'm gonna let a few of y'all get in here before I get going. Juan, what's cracking? But as you see, I made it to that Raider image. We made it to the image. We didn't get to the one in the stadium because I don't care how much of a Raider fan I am. Selena, what's going on, darling? Jason, what's happening? I'm not waiting 2 hours to go into a store to spend money. Tommy, what's cracking? Hey, but Red, we got into the one over at the Mandalay Bay before we went out there and went on that casino floor real wrong. But yeah, you can't get this online. You got to go get it from the Image store. You can't buy it from the store online. They only sell it in the store. And I had to get it in the store because when I ordered it from Fanatics, they completely fucked off my order, and I ended up having to get the type of hat that I don't want. So I had to go all the way to Las Vegas to get what I wanted. What's going on, Mike Blicky? What's going on? So let's jump into this. All of you people out there, I don't understand. What's going on, Joseph? How can y'all even mention Derek Carr's name with what went wrong this weekend? What didn't go right this weekend? Victor, what's going on? How is any of this Carr's fault? You may, if this weekend was Derek Carr's fault, y'all may as well blame him for COVID, the state of the world today. um, I mean, let's get real. Uh, take your pick, offensive or defensive. Both lines played like trash. Both lines play like trash. And our defensive scheme is absolute fucking garbage. Complete and total garbage. The pass rush is part of it, Martin. The pass rush is part of it. But the ultimate underlying is our defense coordinator is just a fucking joke. I mean, for Gruden the only reason I think, hey, what's going on, Jim? The only reason why Gruden's hanging on to this dude is because he's a close personal friend. It's the middle of the season. And what he's going to end up doing is trying to set him up to get hired somewhere or something. But this scheme and whatever the fuck, it's a joke. Look at how many NFL teams won games. The winning team had less than 30 points. Hell, there's some games we would have won with 20 points. But all these idiot motherfuckers out here blaming and bitching about Derek Carr. Every week we've scored enough points to win games if we had a defensive coordinator. I mean, come on. We've upgraded our defense. We have better players at every position this year than we did last year. And our defense was better. It performed better last year. And that's saying a lot. Our defense to this point was better last year than it is this year. That's coaching. Because look at the touchdown passes. The DBs were where they were supposed to be. It's the fucking scheme. The scheme is what's trash. You got young players back there that are coming into their own, starting to play well. But they're not out of position because they're not playing football. They're out of position because the scheme puts them out of position from jump. They're not getting help from a lack of a pass rush, but a lack of creativity in that front. And Ray Charles is telling you that bullshit ass scheme leaves the middle of the field wide the fuck open. We know that Littleton can cover Gronkowski. He's done it before. But when you're playing a bullshit ass zone, what's the use of having a covered linebacker when you got him in a zone all the time? He has to pass him off because he's playing technique. Hey, Michael Merkford, what's going on? It's like they're playing technique because they're being forced to play zone all the time. Mixing in a zone is what the zone defense is for. Having a variety of defense is how you fool Hall of Fame quarterbacks. That's how you fool them. You mix up the fucking defense. You play the same thing constantly. Okay? And for what it's worth, Tampa has a good offensive line. You got to do something to vary it. And with the telegraphed blitzing, the constant zone, I mean, you ain't helping nobody. And because of the generic ass defense that everybody figures out, that everybody obviously knows, because it's almost become obvious to me that Gunther it's obvious to every fucking body. Gunther hasn't changed anything in years. You can look at old fucking Bengal defensive games and see what he's doing. So if it's that telegraphable, you can look at the front and figure out what he's doing. And like I said again, what receiver was open when they caught a touchdown? Except the busted play where dude ran all the way across the back of the end zone. And again, that wouldn't have been the case if you weren't playing fucking zone defense. Because there were two dudes covering the up receiver, the receiver in the front of the end zone. There were two guys covering him, and the guy behind him was running naked. That's why they run crossing patterns, so you can catch them in pockets of zones, especially on the goal line. But see, Jim, you can't get individuals involved in a zone defense. The quarterback has to screw up and throw it towards the person that Corey Littleton. They ran everything behind the linebackers, and it worked. The occasional time we had one QB hit, no sacks. We couldn't get to a fucking statue. Tom Brady's a statue, and we couldn't get to him. We hit him once. That's ridiculous. What's up, David? And then it's like, you got to give Tampa credit. They're better than a weak-ass team, but they weren't unbeatable. And then, on the interception, Aguilar dropped the ball. Let's just face it. Aguilar had a hell of a fucking game, but he dropped the ball. And then for people that are bitching, he had key drops. He had drops. He had a good game. He dropped the ball 3 times. Waller's dropped the ball several times. He didn't drop a lot Sunday. But, we got to get Ruggs involved. Some of the offensive problems are just fucking generic ass play calling. I mean, come on. And then hey, Billy Kirby, what's going on, my brother? Everything, let's get back to the real. Why was our offensive line play so shitty? One person. We went from having an impenetrable force to looking like we did against New England. Why? Because Derek Carr's anchor, once again, was gone. Why? Because of selfish bullshit. He take his monitor off, does something, and fucks around and gets COVID. Absolutely insane. But the reality of it is, what did we learn? For all you just dummies out there talking about get rid of him and trade him, we need Trent Brown. We need Trent Brown. And it was proven again Sunday. When he's in the game, when he's playing, when he's on the field, our offensive line is very difficult to beat because everybody's in the right position. And you also have to remember last week, our starting offensive linemen, the starters, missed the 3-4 days of practice where you implement your offensive game plan. They may have received it via, email. They may have received it or watched it via Zoom call, but they weren't out there going through the motions. They weren't out there getting it drilled in. The first time they actually got on the field to physically do anything that involved actively implementing this and getting the motions to the point of repetitive, constant anything was Sunday morning during walkthroughs. I don't give a damn who you are. If the only time you physically get to go through the motions, you're not going to play well if the first time you do it is the day of the game. No matter what level of expertise you are at your job. You walk on your job, get the instructions, and then just go do it. And it's a physical job. Our backups played, probably 40% of that game. And it showed. JR, my man, what's going on, Reiner, my man? And then, I agree, Ryan, our defense always looks lost. Even when they do something right, it seems like it's by osmosis. It's like, oh shit, the ball came to me. And for you idiots that are constantly talking about Clelin Ferrell, he's busted. Clelin Ferrell does get to the ball. He does get past. Nobody got to the quarterback this week. You ever notice that they never run to Clelin Ferrell's side? Rarely do they run to his side because he shuts down the run. For all you idiots that only look at stats, you only look at sacks. No, he is a run enforcer too. Max is getting better at enforcing the run. That's why they run towards him. They don't run at Clelin because he causes piles or he just makes the damn tackle. All these fucking recliner GMs and fucking mama's basement D coordinators like Chucky Itadika, also known as Raider Chucky, dumb bitch, speak and spell master, because, constantly, the mama's hot pocket warmer upper. You don't know what you're talking about. Stay silent. You might learn something. Defense is more about sacks and interceptions. It's a scheme, and ours is fucked up very badly. It drives me nuts. It drives me absolutely nuts. Trent Brown has got money, and I just think it's just one of those things where he's created generational wealth for his family, and he's happy with playing. Hey, Miss Leslie, how you doing, my darling? He's happy with playing. The passion to succeed and excel and to be great He's cool with being good enough. He's cool with being good enough. We need more than good enough. And unfortunately, his good enough makes him one of the best tackles in the league. And we need him. And outside those first 3 games, he now knows we need him. We now know we need him. Now the thing is, Mayock getting in his house and lighting a fire under his ass to get him to realize it. How much he has to gain to becoming, the greatest, one of the greatest tackles in the game, because he has the potential to do it. But it's annoying because him being gone just fucked off the whole offensive line, the whole offensive scheme. So Carr doesn't have all day to pass because Tampa has a bunch of beasts on the D line and the linebacking core. Tampa's front 7 ain't no joke. It shut down our run game because they ain't worried about a rotating cavalcade of second stringers out there at right tackle. They're not. Everything, the pressure, the run game shut down on the right side. You run to the left, the right side crashed and shut it down. You try to pass. Derek Carr, he sees the pass rush. Yeah, granted, the only reason why Derek Carr was upright half the time, most of the time, was because he could see the pass rush because he knew where it was coming from. It was coming from the right side. So it was in his face. I mean, if Colton Miller didn't have a decent game, some of you dumbasses would have got your wish and Mariota would have been in the game. And then you really would have seen how much Derek Carr is an essential clog to this puzzle. He hasn't played bad this year. But there's too many dummies out there. I mean, it ain't too many because God knows. I mean, y'all are God's favorites. Because without his graces, you dumb motherfuckers would be in the dirt somewhere. Because it's the defense. I mean, we could sit and talk about the defense. And yeah, hopefully Incognito, which would be phenomenal because now we know Denzel Good can get plugged in anywhere. I mean, he can even, like he even showed, he could hold down right tackle for a game or two, but to put him there permanently, no. And that's the thing. Ryan, Carr, I've been telling y'all, and I am a Raider fan. I am not a Carr apologist. Game recognized game. Carr's not a bad quarterback. But the reality of it is this. Yes, and Kellen, I'm going to get to that too. Y'all, you motherfuckers like the idiots. I wanted to call, man, I would have got the page shut down if I would have responded to all you dumb, idiot, inbred MFs talking about we should have signed Brady. You know how bad our quarterback would look if we put a statue behind what we've been doing this year? You know how Brady would have retired by now if he was behind our offensive line. Brady would be done if he had to play behind what we've been putting out there. You motherfuckers talking about we should have signed Brady. Like all of a sudden, with his superpowers, he was going to sprinkle angel dust over the entire offensive fucking line. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, we got 5 Pro Bowlers up there blocking for him. The fuck out of here. You dumb, idiot, narrow-minded, front-running bitches. Just like, the fuck on with that shit. You ain't Raider fans. And if you are, you need to go back to fan school and figure out what the fuck fanatic means. Hey, what's going on, Nancy? I shouted you out earlier, but you wasn't here. And now the ejection. Let's get to that. What exactly did Gabe Jackson do? What did he do? We got all the captions of him getting slung around like a professional wrestler by the dude. And then he stepped on somebody? We done seen Ndamukong Suh crush nuts. We done see all kind of shit. Nothing happened. Gabe Jackson, he didn't even stomp. I don't even think we could even put that off as him. It was an accident. It wasn't intentional. He could argue that point. He got ejected. Hey, Jacob, what's going on? My little Tom Brady chatting homie. Yep, see, he's my mentor. Or I'm his mentor. Hi, Jacob. But you know what? The passing, and remember how Patrick Mahomes, trout mouth baby recipient, because I think that bitch is an alien. But how she was talking about that's right, Jay Rizzle. She was saying that they had to fight the refs with us. When the last time the refs did anything for us? After the Holy Roller. Remember, the Holy Roller was on us. Ken Stabler fumbled the ball 30 yards forward, and we got a touchdown. But we beat the Sparklers that day. And that actually got us in the playoffs. Yes, I am vintage enough to remember that game. And it was in San Diego, if I remember correctly. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's how we had pass interference calls against us where the receiver didn't even move. Like the one on the out and up. The receiver ran by him. Again, a bullshit ass zone coverage. So it wasn't even his job to cover the receiver. He reached out with his hand and the receiver basically just swatted and kept running. Pass interference. Mike Evans coming across the middle. Ball went through his hands and the DB grabbed him to tackle him. The ball hit his hands when he hit Evans. Pass interference. Nevin Lawson a couple of times. Pass interference. He didn't do nothing. The receiver pushed him one time. Pass interference. Gronkowski almost shot put at somebody on an overthrow. Pass interference. It drove me crazy. Yeah. And again, when Aguilar didn't catch the ball, it was because, Nelson, the ball hit you in both hands. You got to bring that in. But you did have somebody climbing your back when you got hit or when the ball got there. Well, before the ball got here. No flags. Ruggs, offensively, got to get him more involved. And telegraphing, that was a cool run and everything, but you telegraphing you're going to do stuff when he never goes in motion, but then, like, the first time he goes in motion, you hand him the ball. Our offensive playbook is old. Or should put it like this, it's very narrow. We need to get more pages in it or bring in an offense coordinator. John, your concepts are great. You need to get out the pencil and the pad and expanded it. You need to come up with a few more plays. I know you got it in you, Johnny boy. You've been watching it. You were watching the NFL for 10 years before you decided to come back. Dig in the crates and come up with some better shit or some more shit. The shit you got is fine, but come up with some more because you call on the same plays. Brian, but the 1990s work. The 90s can still work because a nice, powerful run game will kill people. However, you need to diversify your passing game or work more off of play action once you establish the run and don't wait till the run is completely shut down before you start trying to run play action. And vice versa. Throw the ball, and then draw plays work. Draw plays don't work when your run is shut down. So, yeah, and that's the thing. We didn't run the ball successfully because our offensive line was depleted because one person decided to be selfish. And it took our whole offensive line out of the planning phase for this week's offense for 4 days. And see, yeah, it will work today. Because if you have a balance, when you need, what's the point? You open it up. How many times have we seen these wide open offenses go down and score, and then nobody can run the ball, so basically it just turns into a track meet? That's when you end up having a defense that ain't worth the shit because you invested all your money on offense. If you can grind the ball and throw the ball, you will win a championship. Because you have all these defenses set up to stop passing. You have to be, if you have a balanced offense, circa the 90s, you will win championships in the 20s. So, hey, Bobby, what's happening? And the Wildcat is played out. Unless it's like, look at the success of it in New Orleans, where basically Taysom Hill is a Wildcat quarterback because he is a physical running quarterback. And he always is a double threat. However, it's marginally successful because of the fact that he runs so well, everybody's geared up to stop the run. They don't always do it. And I agree. This game should have been moved to today. We'd have everybody back if this game was moved to today. And we are the only team, the only organization this year who haven't had a game moved back. The NFL can use that bullshit excuse of they wanted to preserve that late night spot. Fine, I agree. Preserve your marquee spot. But at that point, you move us out of that spot and then you push the game back. Period. And then, but don't the Succaneers play this Thursday? Maybe that's why they didn't do it then too. Because the other thing that screws us up is we've already had our bye. So they couldn't delay it all week. But if the Succaneers play Thursday, that could be another reason why. But then again, they did it to other teams. Somebody had to play Monday and then Thursday. I forget who it was. It might have been the Titans. But the Titans are the ones that started all this shit because of their lack of protocol adherence. So my thing is, Anton, our offense, for somebody that's been an innovator and a creative mind, it's time to just, maybe part of the problem is Gruden's needs. Yeah, it was the Titans or the Bills, but that game, one of those two had to play Thursday after they played Monday. And that's why we had 2 Monday night games, because they weren't going to push it to Tuesday because one of those teams had to play Thursday. But, hell. So Tampa can't do it? The league is twisted. We got fucked because the Brady rules. They wrote the book, The Jordan Rules. Well, the Brady rules run the NFL. And they're going to set it up to try to get him and the Buccaneers as close to the Super Bowl as they can, if not in it, with as little resistance as possible. But in the NFC, they're going to run into a lot of resistance because most of the good teams in this league are in the NFC this year. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. We shouldn't have been playing Sunday. Well, the league knew we were handicapped and they didn't give a shit. And as far as Gruden, when you're constantly having to defend poor performance by giving your D coordinator a vote of confidence, all you're doing is trying to put a buffer between him and the reality of the fact that he sucks. And, you know, that voice is getting louder. Mark Davis is a fan first. He's an owner. But he's a fan too. And he sees garbage. Gruden sees the bullshit that's going on the field. He just doesn't want to fire his friend. But that's okay. Get out of the way, John. The people upstairs will do it. They'll do it without your green light. But you're going to look really bad. And you're going to lose a lot of favor if you fall on the sword of this motherfucker. And see, and that's the thing. Yeah, now we got a favorable schedule. And all the haters are going to, well, I'm not going to give Carr credit. Man, we don't need you to give Carr credit because you don't pay him. Fuck y'all. And as far as I'm going, you know, y'all going to catch smoke. I stay out of the page for a day or two after games, win or lose, because, again, I don't have any ghost or phantom or whatever fuck call them counts. I got one. Because I'm going to let you know what the fuck I feel with my name, nobody else's. And if you don't like it, Mark Zuckerdick, you can suck that. I'm going to let you know. And the reality of it is we have a good team. We have the players to be way above average. We have subpar defensive leadership. Derek, what's going on? You know, and exactly, want dubs. We want dubs. I'm willing to deal, but we're at a point in the process where we keep hiccuping. Fuck hiccups. Pat this bitch on the back. Cough up Gunther. Get somebody in there. Change the scheme. Do something. I ain't even saying we got to give up the zone. Use multiple defensive schemes. Defensive fronts. Because his basic is bullshit. His basic is on fucked up. Because it's getting picked like a third grader's nose. Ain't no boogers up in there. Just because there ain't nothing to stop nothing. That's just bottom line. We need, even with our offense, our defense needs to step way the fuck up. Because, you know, like I said, there are several games that 20 points would have won this week. You should not have to score 40 points to win games in the NFL. And that's the shit that kills me. For people that want to blame. Hey, exactly. Look, my grandmother is dead and she's coached better games in the last 3 years. You know, yeah, the pass rush sucks. But the thing is, we have better talent on our line than teams that could generate a pass rush because of the scheme. The scheme does matter. When you constantly running vanilla bullshit because everybody knows what you're doing, it's easy to block. When you're predictable. You know, we have the talent. It's the scheme, Brian. It's the scheme. The scheme has a lot to do with what's going on. When it's not creative and it's predictable, I don't care who you have. You could have a Pro Bowl team. And with Gunther's defensive plan, you're going to move on it. And you're not going to get any pressure, no matter what. It is the scheme that is the problem on the defense. Period. We are better at every position this year than last, yet last year's defense was better. So, yeah. Because the shit's the same. Gunther's defense hasn't changed since Cincinnati. But in Cincinnati, it was fresh and new, which is why it was so successful. Here, it's straight garbage. So, that's all I'm saying. And, yeah, Pagano was out there. Well, no. Pagano was still the head coach of the Colts when Gruden took this job. But Pagano would have been nice. And at this point, Wade would be nice, but we don't have the personnel to play at 34. It would have to be some sort of hybrid. But hey, at 70 plus years old, Wade Phillips can adjust. He's shown that coaching the Rams. So I look for that too. But hey, y'all, this has been kind of fun. Nah, Gunther just needs to go. Damn him, why he needs to go. We need to get Vance Johnson if that's the case. Promote. I mean, hell, fire. At this point, I'm like, find a good young defensive coordinator that has some shit going. Go to one of these squads that has a good defense and snatch one of their underbosses, one of their assistant coaches. You know, just bottom line, we need an injection of new creativity. Period. I don't give a fuck who it is. Some of these Wade Phillips to me right now that's out there that's just kind of chilling. Other than digging up Buddy Ryan, that's the best bet. I don't trust either one of Buddy's kids. I don't trust neither one of them motherfuckers. I trust Buddy Ryan. You know, we could do a weekend at Bernie's thing, do a seance and tie his ass up to a couple of motherfuckers and just have Buddy out there on the sideline calling plays. But other than I don't trust either one of his sons. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Wade will run a 3-4, but we don't have the personnel for a 3-4. We're built for a 4-3 unless he runs a 34 hybrid, which would be more like a 5-2, because you can stand Nassib up, you can stand Farrell up. And we still got Key, who was a stand-up outside backer / defensive end. So we could do it that way. But the reality of it is, what the fuck Gunther's doing ain't the hit. And that's the thing. But the thing is, can Key and Nassib go back to their college days and pedal and cover the flat? See, that's the thing with a 34 or 42 or 52 or whatever. Your ends have to be, athletic enough to be able to cover the flat. If they're not, then no bueno. Because it also opens up. No, Josh is never going to leave. He's the heir apparent to Belichick. He ain't going nowhere. You can just take him off the board. And Josh is the offensive coach. You can take Josh McDaniels off your board. We've had the Bill Callahan failure experiment before. Yeah, Farrell can move, but the thing is, Farrell's never played standing up. But, he's a pro player. I'm sure it wouldn't be that difficult as long as you limited his expansion to the flats. So he's not out there running around going back and forth. And, I don't know if he's agile enough. I know he's got the ability to get up and go and, go to one spot. But do we want him out there trying to break dance and running around? I don't know. But I would love to see Clelin Ferrell catch somebody, a little bitch like Tyreek Hill coming on a cross pattern. Oh, I love that. That would happen once. He'd knock all the child abuse out of that motherfucker. Arden Key too, because that's why Arden Key was small, because he was an outside linebacker. So putting him back in his element would probably be, man. Hey, Rod Marinelli on deck. Rod Marinelli's there now. So I hold Rod partially responsible. Maybe Gruden needs to change who is in authority as the defensive coordinator, and we'll see some changes. And Marinelli can activate his shit. But, Dallas's defense was way better last year than it is this year, and their defense was better than ours. So I'd be willing to let kick the tires on Marinelli the rest of this year. I mean, and we're talking all this shit, y'all. We ain't even halfway through the season yet. We're 3-3. We're still better than over half the NFL as far as our record goes. But, I mean, all is not lost. We're frustrated. We're frustrated because, you know what it is? We're panicking. Cap, don't call him that. Call him Jack Del Rio. I know too many fucked off individuals that go by that moniker, Captain Jack. Black Jack. Black Jack Del Rio. And he's a Trojan. So Jack's working. Jack's up there in he's coaching for the football team. He's coaching for the team with no name. So basically he's Ron Rivera's assistant head coach. If anything goes wrong with Ron, Jack's gonna step in, so Jack's not available. Oh, don't get me started. I got too many people I know that are Dallas Cowboy fans. I personally am loving what the fuck's going on in Dallas. They're going to be in position to draft a quarterback and can't. Oh, because put it like, if they were in a position to draft one of these quarterbacks and drafted him, they're not going to get shit for Dak. They ain't getting nothing for Dak if they try to move him. It's like, he ain't under contract with y'all. I ain't paying you. I tell you what, I'll give you a 5th round pick for him. So that makes it that much more fun. Hey, Martin, I can't join you on that one. I've been alive and witnessed and seen all 3 Super Bowls. I've seen this team at pure greatness. And I've seen him for this I call it a blip of frustration. Because I've been a Raider fan for, almost, I ain't going to tell you, but it's been way more than 2/3 of the existence of this team. So I've seen a lot of greatness. I refuse to accept this BS. So the last 10 years, 10, 15 years is like, we still coming. And no matter what, till the casket drops, it's all about this here. It's all about that shield. Period. Point blank. Bottom line. And now we are. That's right. We're the Sin City Raiders. So we got it. We got it popped. But out there on the East Coast, if y'all ain't home, you should be. And if you're not, I hope I made your drive a little bit better. West Coast, get back to work. You only got 3 left. Midwest, fuck y'all's weather. But much love for y'all too. Everybody needs to get it in the way we getting it in. Stay safe. And in this fucked up world, be positive. The best you know how. Whether that's a little tree, a little drink, a little prayer. Me, it's a little bit of everything. I incorporate it all. Because if it wasn't meant for us to consume, he wouldn't have put it here for us. Damn, that's tasty. And by no means am I trying to make any spiritual or religious proclamations. But I will say this, in parting. If you don't sin a little bit, Jesus died for nothing. So, Selena, Seattle. My people, Orlando Raider Nation, Oklahoma Raider Nation, all the Raider Nation is all about peace here at Raider Reaction. We got that love for you. It's all about that love. But never forget, first and foremost, it's all about that motherfucking nation. It's your man Big L. Nothing but love for y'all. I'll be back Thursday. The commish will be here tonight, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on Raider Reaction. This is your man Big L. I love y'all, and I'm out.